Guys, we appreciate you once again calling in today, and we're excited about what's going on already at BidPoint. We launched on the 12th, so basically 10 days ago, and a lot has happened already. We're seeing some exciting business starting to come to fruition. We've got some very exciting things going on on the side of commercial energy. Obviously, that's why we're here. But a lot of people have already joined our ranks, and kind of intentionally, we haven't been in a hurry. We want to make sure that we know what we're doing and get everybody off to kind of a smooth start as we all start at the same time. Of course, we have a lot of experience at this. I want to say that Mike Healy and Joe Mittiga, the two gentlemen that are going to be on the call today, Mike has a tremendous amount of experience and success, specifically in commercial energy and building large sales teams. His system that we'll be talking about ongoing is a proven system that's led to thousands of reps and tens of thousands of customers. So you can trust that you're getting the right information. He and I have known each other and worked together probably in almost 10 years now. And Joe Mittiga and myself go back 25 years. We started in the energy business together. We started in network marketing 25 years before that together. And so we have a long, and we've had a lot of success together as well. And I think the backbone of what we're doing here, while we're just getting started, what's happened recently with Avan Energy, a 7-year-old consistently growing with multiple thousands of customers already under their belt. They've already been through the process, a 91% retention rate, which is going to prove to be important to you down the road because you can get customers and keep them. There's no reason you should ever lose a customer here, frankly. So that, to me, is what creates true long-term residual income. And there's really this is a no-frills deal, It's very simple to get involved. It's either $21 a month or it's $99 right now promotionally for a year. And, that just takes it out of the way. It's basically $8 a month, to run your business here. This is all about commercial energy and all about the commissions that are generated from that, both from a team perspective and also from from an individual's perspective. We want people that love the idea of commercial energy, which I know I do, and Mike Healy does, and Joe Mittiga does, and along with several others that are connected to us already, people we've known in the past. What I want to do at this point in time is introduce my business partner at BidPoint. One of Monty Bertrand is the third amigo there, and you'll be hearing a lot more from him as the days and months go by, and what he does becomes increasingly important as we grow our organization. But right now, what I want to do is bring the person who has created the engine that is BidPoint, and that is Mr. Mike Healy. Out there.
I'm here, Rick. Can you hear me good?
Perfectly.
Excellent. Well, first off, I'm just so excited. We got 10 days now under our belt, officially launched. We've obviously been working on this way longer than that, and it's just exciting. And I do appreciate everybody taking time out of their schedules in the middle of the afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in, to be on today's call. And I'm very, very excited to have this opportunity to share with you. Now, I'm not going to take very much time because I think what we have is a very simple model, and I don't like to confuse it with a lot of jargon or weirdness, and just keep things simple, which usually always works out the best. All right. So if you look at what the core thing is that BidPoint is offering, is that most people are looking for ways to supplement their income, right? And that's across the board. Everybody's looking typically for extra, sources of income. What makes this so unique, and I believe so incredible of an opportunity, is the space that we happen to be in, the energy space. Okay, you're looking at a kind of a first to market as far as deregulation of energy, and that's continually an ongoing process, and more states will probably continue to deregulate. And I look back at what I experienced back in the telecom deregulation days, back in the late 90s. I mean, I watched people that were in the right place at the right time in that space make tremendous amounts of money. I mean, I had very good friends that did very, very well in that, and I knew that I didn't want to miss a wave like this if it ever came around. So if you look at what we're offering, the one nice thing about this is the fact that if you just asked yourself a couple simple questions, if you said, if you thought to yourself, can you imagine getting paid a little bit or a lot of it, but a little bit off the energy usage of businesses in your community? All right, just think about that for a second. Businesses make up the lion's share of all energy usage across the United States by a large portion, probably upwards of 70 to 80% of all energy used in the U.S. is business, right? And there's nothing wrong with, if you have the opportunity to tap into residential, but it's a matter of, chasing dollars or chasing dimes in that capacity. But if you look at the businesses, if you had the ability to earn income off of a church, motel, hotel, hospital, manufacturing facility, airport, pizza place, whatever it might be, your wheels really start to turn. Okay, that's what it comes down to. Now, what's nice about this as an opportunity is that customer acquisition is really just the name of the game. And most people, if you're taking a look at this for the first time, more than likely, somebody showed you a little bit of information. I'll give you some references of, where you can get some more info on our company. But people are usually just asking themselves a couple questions, if this makes sense, okay? And really they're going to ask themselves two questions. Is it worth doing, and can I do it? Well, what we've made here is I believe the answer will be, yes, it's worth doing, and yes, you can do it in what we actually do. The two core things that you're going to have to learn how to do if you want to earn commissions with BidPoint is gather bills and introduce potentially, if you'd like to, you don't have to, other people, introduce them into, maybe becoming part of the BidPoint community as well. And I didn't say gather customers, and I think that's really, really important because it's not about gathering customers because the customers will come. The core task that we try to get people to understand that they must learn to do, and if you keep it this simple, the numbers work out, okay? In sales or anytime you do marketing or whatever, it's just a numbers game. You've heard that. Everybody knows that if you swing the bat enough times, you're going to eventually get a hit. Occasionally you'll get a base hit, and every once in a while you hit one out of the park. Think of it that exact same way when it comes to customer gathering. Now, quite a few years ago, I developed a phrase to help people with that one very important core task of gathering bills. And it's a simple 8-second phrase. You probably already saw it, but I'm going to repeat it because it's worth repeating. And the scenario, I'll give you the scenario. You went out with the family. You're about your normal daily business. You went out and got pizza. And while you're there, you're friends with the owner of the company. And you say, hey, Joe, I don't know if I could help you or not, but if you give me a copy of last month's utility bills, I can actually have them analyzed by a company for free, see if you guys are being overcharged. The free and overcharged is the hot buttons for any business owner out there, and they're typically going to, especially if you have a relationship. And I want to just let me pause on this for a second. The other thing that makes this model unique in what we do is most people that are jumping on board, the masses of people that are coming on board with BidPoint already have established relationships with people. I'm never going to probably put any kind of training together to teach you how to cold call because that's really not our model. Our model is to help people tap into existing businesses or existing relationships with business owners of people that they already know in their community, across the country, whatever it might be, to help them with a cost that they have to have. No matter what, businesses have to have this thing done, and help them potentially, keep from being overcharged, and find best pricing. Okay, so it's literally that simple. We're just trying to train people up to gather bills. The other thing that we do in BidPoint, and obviously there's the ability to, we reward people, because of them bringing other people to BidPoint. We have a commission override on things that we help you do. You do if you bring people on board. So introducing other people to BidPoint. Most people are using some of the videos that we have online. Like you can go to you're using the web page, the blog page, which is at bidpoint.co. That's bidpoint.co, and you can see a lot of the content on there, videos, training materials, and so on. Another video that people use is on promoterswanted.com. That video has had thousands and thousands of views. It just basically is something that you could say to your friend, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested in this or not, but do you care if I send you a text? And you text them promoterswanted.com and watch this short video. Or you send them an email with the same process. And what happens is they see it and they go, oh, that makes sense. Or they go, nope, not for me. Not a big deal. So if I rewind real quick, that the 2 core tasks we do, and I know this isn't supposed to be a training, but I think that, like I said a second ago, is if you know it's worth doing and you can do it, you're probably going to push the go button is what we're looking to help you do. And those 2 things are just gathering bills using an 8-second question and introducing people to a video, a web page, or whatever it might be to see if they're interested in getting paid doing the same thing is an extremely simple model, and the potential is staggering, okay? So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch gears, and I'm going to pass it over. We're going to pass it to Joe, but I'm going to let Rick introduce Joe, okay? Because here's the deal. You came in because you said this makes sense. I would love to get paid on a hospital's energy usage, okay, or whatever. And you use the 8-second question, and you gathered the bill. That's all well and good, and you've done pretty much the majority of the work that you're going to be involved with. But what makes BidPoint and the alignment, the partnership that we have with Avan Energy is so incredible that when you take this, now you're going to hear how this process works and why it's going to spit cash out at the end of the end of the process here. So I just telling you that this is something definitely worth doing. And as you can see, we literally keep it so simple that you're going to say, yeah, I can do that. So Rick, you take it from here, introduce Joe, and I think it's going to rock their world when they see what they do from that point on.
Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time. And guys, stay close to bidpoint.co. There's new things going up there all the time. Also connect to our Facebook page, which is basically facebook.com/BidPoint. I want to talk a little bit about, what's going on in the energy space. There's been network marketing energy companies for the last decade or so, all based on a certain kind of a model, kind of front end loaded a little bit in compensation, and in the back end they primarily chase residual income off of residential customers. We felt like there was a lot of great things about energy, and Joe Mittiga is going to touch on that in a minute. But there's a couple things I want you to understand. We have a commission plan versus a compensation plan because we are direct sellers of commercial energy. We're not a network marketing company. There's no funny money in the front of this plan. The other thing that's really important is what's possible because of the Direct Connect portal that Avan Energy has. It puts us in a position where something that takes virtually all commercial energy brokers take about 2 hours to process a deal. The Direct Connect portal does that in 5 minutes and bids any number of suppliers. So not only are you getting it done multiple times faster, you're able to bid it out to the marketplace. So if a traditional brokerage has 40, 50 relationships, which very few do, they don't really have a way to communicate that message out there. Otherwise, it'd be taking 12 hours to process one deal. That math doesn't work. Well, this is the first time it's ever been scalable, and what made BidPoint possible is the Direct Connect portal. So we've been working on this for a long time, waiting for this moment in time. There's no one else in the marketplace. I know virtually everyone out there in this space. I've been around this a long time. There's no one else out there that can do it exactly the way we do it. And someone that I've known for 25 years, been around, he and I joined Energy at the same time in one of those companies in 2007. He went out and found a better way and did it himself. And you're going to hear that story right now, and that is Mr. Joe Mittiga with Avan Energy, the founder of. Are you out there, Joe?
I'm here, Rick. I'm here. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again for taking the time. And Rick and Mike, I appreciate you guys having me on your call today. It is an exciting time in the energy space, I will say. And like what you've been hearing, it is unique. And it's not a mistake. I can tell you, we've been planning on this for several years. And I'll quickly tell you the story. Like everybody on this call, I'm assuming my background is out in the direct marketing world, literally for 25 years. That's how Rick and I have known each other, and we've built and grown global teams in the past. And the bottom line with the many years experience I had in this industry, everything about a marketing plan is dependent upon the quality of the product or service. And years ago we marketed quality products and built big businesses, but we always knew deep in our heart, sooner or later, the momentum of income was going to go away. I mean, it was inevitable. in anything we'd done in the past. And when I got introduced into the energy field about 10 years ago, I really got introduced into the residential side of things. I had a big nutritional network at the time, and the reason I started to look into energy versus nutritionals is because energy was a mandatory product, and I don't care what nutritional product you have out there, or any other product, they're discretionary. Bottom line, people can live without them. And when somebody said to me way back when, a house could be in foreclosure, but the electricity and natural gas is still on, the light bulbs went off for me. And, the way I transitioned from residential to commercial about 7+ years ago, almost 8 years ago now, was simple. It's because the energy industry as a concept pays its commission based on consumption, nothing else. No price point, no profits, no anything, basically based on consumption. Come here. And so from that perspective, it just made sense to me. If we're going to have the same conversation anyways, why not have a conversation on something that is going to make you more money? And we're here for the income. That's why we do business. So, I, like most of you, have been involved with organizations that promised a lot and delivered a little. And some organizations delivered a little for a long time, but you knew once you got involved and you looked behind the counters and you looked behind the curtains that it just wasn't what you thought it was. And, so not unlike several of you, I'm sure, on this call right now, and my heart goes out to you because I've been there. I had a business. The guy was starting to do commercial work. He made some certain promises, had a team of 300 or 400, and literally came on the call, doubled that upfront money, like Rick calls it, the funny money, lessened the backside, and had no marketing materials to support us. And why I was heartbroken was not necessarily for myself. It was because I had put my reputation on the line. And basically from that position, I had made promises to people, and from that spot, I couldn't withhold my promise because of some owner. And, basically I had just reached that limit. And I was in the car going up, taking some of my niece and nephews back home to their parents, and a guy said to me, "Joe, you got to start your own." And that literally was the foundation and the starting point for Avan Energy. That happened in July of 2010. I resigned from that other company the 4th of July and then started Avan the 7th. And really what we started here back 7+ years ago is a business where we knew long-term we could build something and grow something. I've got 2 small children. I'm in my son's room right now. You'll probably hear him in the background. I work out of my home a lot. We built this so that long-term, my dreams and goals were to be able to build a business where when my children went to college, they'd be able to go to college based on their abilities, not based on dad's bank account. So from the beginning, we were never in a race. We were never trying to be the biggest, the fastest, create this illusion of momentum. We wanted to build something that was real. And what we did is we started the process, and we learned very early on that energy and how you acquire a client is one thing. How you keep a client is something very different, and we approach those two things very differently. The acquisition of a client typically is based on relationship and the exposure to savings, if possible. Well, the bottom line in this world, the only thing that matters to the end user consumer when it comes to natural gas and electricity is price point. They don't care. There isn't such a thing as a quality electricity or a quality natural gas. It's all about price. So when we started years ago, we started with the marketing of competitive pricing. But, we knew very early on that we were going to go out there and build a business model to where we could move from the conversation of competitive to the conversation of best pricing. And how did we do that? What happened was, for 3 years, my full-time job, every day, 4 and 5 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day, I would be calling these large energy suppliers and asking them to create a relationship with us. Had a couple of surprises throughout the industry, and I really had no idea how difficult that would be. But, you know, bottom line, as we pursued and consistently built that, our crown jewel in the beginning days was an organization called Constellation. It took us 27 months of direct activity and interaction with that company to get them on board. They were our 24th or 25th supplier at that point in time. Today, the reason people are so excited about the opportunity you guys are pursuing today is two things. And the two things basically are efficiency and effectiveness. Well, our effectiveness today in every deregulated market across the country of finding your client, your friend, your coworker, your family member best pricing is because today we have 70-plus energy contracts signed. And Jim probably has 8 or 10 on his desk as we speak. And what does that mean? That means basically in any deregulated market, you get us the appropriate documentation, and every one of the largest energy suppliers approved in that region will be bidding for your client's business. And, you know, free marketplace basically says if you got a bunch of people bidding, the lowest price wins. Every one of these people know they're competing against their competitors, so the price point gets actually as low as it can possibly be. So your effectiveness in acquiring a client is very, very strong. Our renewals are 91% plus, and the only reason we lose some is because people go out of business, not because people don't use our service. Our renewals are so strong and so high because however long the contract is, 3 months prior, we start the whole process again. And, you know, long-term residual income, that's Avan's message, that's BidPoint's message. Long-term residual income is directly proportional to the effectiveness of renewals. If you can get a client, fantastic. But if you can keep a client long-term, that's residual income. That's real residual income. And the other thing that was so needed, and we knew it from the beginning, Rick and I have built teams of tens of thousands in other things. I know Mike Healy's done the same. I'm sure several of you have. But the idea of expansion and scalability, it did not exist in the energy field. And it certainly did not exist in the commercial energy field. And 3.5 years ago, we hired a man. He's been working full-time for us ever since. He's created this that you're hearing Rick talk about, the Direct Connect portal. And what the portal does is it basically creates an electronic system which digitalizes everything. It manages all the process. It bids all of it out to every one of the large suppliers, and it does it in a very effective and efficient amount of time. So from that perspective, it can scale. And since it's all based on computers, it doesn't matter where you are, and it doesn't matter how many is coming in, and it doesn't matter how many people are in the business, it continues to grow. And we have basically had our proof of concept over the initial 4 and 5 and 6 years to where everything we're saying today is based on fact. It's not based on hope. It's not based on belief. It's literally based on fact. I could tell you story after story after story. And, Rick, I'll end my comments with a couple of quick financial stories. We've had people that have come here that literally have gone to work in 4 or 5 months, have created an income of $400 or $500 a month, and they've said, you know what, I've reached my goal, thank you very much, and 5 years later, they're still receiving a check. We've had people come here that have been very, very part-time. From day one, knew they were going to spend a couple hours a week, but they did it consistently over time. And, you know, a man up in Tom Green up in Michigan, got people here in Georgia. They're building these incomes that are just unbelievable, not necessarily in size, but in size relative to effort. And they've just been consistent, and I mean $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month checks. I see them all the time. I'm the one signing them. I've seen people get involved here that have literally just been consistent in putting the message out there, like the BidPoint message, and have recruited 50, 60, 70 people. Now, you have to understand it. I hope everybody does. Avan 3 years ago had an outside force that we created in a finite amount of space, knowing that we were going to kind of discontinue it and do something else. And from that spot, basically, we started to shift, and we knew we would get to a place where the Direct Connect portal would be ready and scalable, and, you know, we were going to introduce something like BidPoint. So today, what we did in the past, it was all based on hope. It was all based on, you know, belief. It was all based on we hope we could do it. Well, that's just not the case anymore, Rick. I mean, we've got story after story. We've got strong leadership in the BidPoint people. Literally, somebody comes in here today and works hard for the next 2 years. I don't know where their income will be, but I can tell you tens of thousands of dollars will not surprise me when it happens, simply because it's one of those things to where all of the pieces are together. So, Rick, I could go on and on. I appreciate you getting me on the call today. Again, anything I can do to support everybody out there, just let me know. And, you know, congratulations on the initial launch. We're real excited about what you guys are doing. And believe me, when it comes to the quality of the service, Avan has, you know, we've got that pretty well handled at this point. So thanks for having me on, Rick, and good luck with your first month of launch.
All right. Well, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Mike, too. You know, guys, it's real simple. You know, Joe was talking about applying some time, and Mike was talking about an 8-second question, which has been proven to work. I did a little bit of math on that. If you ask the 8-second question once a day, and you do it for 3 years, in 3 years you'll have invested 1 week of time, basically. Okay? And the kind of income that you would have generated from that activity, spending 1 solid week of time over the course of 3 years, can create some of the stories that Joe's talking about. If you do go to bidpoint.co, you'll see some of the successes we're having with clients on there on the most recent post that Mike and Monty have up there. And I want to suggest that same time, same number on Wednesday at 3 p.m. We'll be excited to share some more and get a little deeper in energy with Kim Johnson, one of the Avan brokers. So I want to thank everybody for your time and attention today, especially thank Mike Healy and Joe Mittiga for sharing their wisdom about the successes they've had, you know, and on the BidPoint marketing side and on the Avan Energy side. And have an awesome day. Let's have a crusher week just like we did last week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.